But first, the number of deaths from opioid abuse continues to climb, topping 33,000 in 2015, according to the federal government. One of the hardest hit states is West Virginia, where the impact of the opioid problem can reach elementary schools. It's not the students who are using, but their parents. Grandparents, foster parents, and the schools are figuring out how to cope for the youngest kids. Special Correspondent Lisa Stark with our partner Education Week traveled to Jackson County, West Virginia. It's the focus of our weekly education series, Making the Grade. A warning to our viewers, some of the scenes may be difficult to watch.
Because you know I'm counting my limits.
Emily Durr's fourth grade class is a lively place.
5, 10, 15, 20.
The Cottageville elementary school teacher likes to combine math with movement
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
and with music.
20, 24, 28.
So it's not surprising that 10-year-old Brianna Sotomayor looks forward to school and to learning.
I love to write. I write stories all the time.
Brianna came to Cottageville Elementary at the end of second grade. It had been a tough year. She and her sister Riley ricocheted among 4 schools and 3 foster homes, ending up at the Sotomayor home.
They had reached a certain point where it was just, they didn't trust anybody. They didn't believe anybody.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
For the sisters, life had had a rough start. Born to a mother addicted to drugs, including prescription pain pills, and a father in and out of jail.
They were able to, in great detail, tell you how to crush pain medications and mix them with water and inject them, among other things. So, you know, they knew far more about it than I did.
Carrie and Paul Sotomayor have now adopted the girls. And also a little boy, Zeke, who had been neglected as an infant. Now they're a family.
We've adopted 3 children and, Lord willing, 1 more.
Like Brianna and Riley, the 4th child they hope to adopt, a boy 3 months old, was also born to a drug-addicted mother.
When we brought him through the door, Riley just burst into tears and said, "How could anybody have done drugs and hurt this little baby?" And it broke her heart.
The impact of the opioid epidemic on children, parents almost dying from pain pills, fentanyl, or heroin, has been on graphic display in pictures released by law enforcement. The epidemic has hit hard in West Virginia. With more parents abusing drugs, the number of children placed in foster care has jumped 24% in 5 years to more than 5,000. Here in Jackson County, local officials saw a spike in overdoses among adults after this aluminum factory shut down in 2009, throwing hundreds out of work. Unemployment is just one of the risk factors that puts West Virginia right at the heart of the opioid epidemic. It's also a state with dangerous jobs, not just manufacturing, but coal mining. Workers get injured. They're prescribed powerful opioids for pain relief. That can begin a cycle of addiction.
House of Delegates only changed.
Jackson County Sheriff Tony Boggs, who's part of a community task force to combat drug abuse, says heroin is now his #1 drug problem after marijuana.
I think in the mid to late 90s, Oxycontin was a huge ordeal. It was prescribed, in my opinion, way out of control. It got a lot of people addicted. Once it starts drying up, then they have to have something to turn to. It's whatever's easiest and readily available, and that has become heroin.
This has not gone unnoticed at Cottageville Elementary.
We definitely see that impact. No one is waking them up to get them to school. They're often late because their parents are sleeping in because they had partied too late the night before. The child has no food. They're hungry when they enter the building. They don't want to go home on the weekends.
Make sure you check your email.
Principal Tracy LeMasters, who holds a hallway huddle with her staff every morning, regularly checks the local paper to see if any of her students' parents have been arrested, so she and the teachers can be ready to help that child.
It can be very heartbreaking. You know, I have preschool students that freely at mealtime talk about their mommies or daddies being in jail.
And under a new program here called Handle with Care, law enforcement now contacts the school district if they have an interaction with a family overnight.
They'll know that, hey, that kid had a rough night last night. You know, there was a reason that they're acting out in school today, or there's a reason that they're not here today.
At Cottageville Elementary, the percentage of low-income students is so high, over 90%, that everyone gets a free breakfast and lunch. The school's 137 students come from the surrounding neighborhoods, including 3 nearby trailer parks. Principal LeMasters figures about a third of her students do not live with their biological parents, mainly due to drug abuse.
How does that impact you as a principal of a school, running a school?
We assume that everything needs to be provided here. So that means if they need clothes, we're going to get them clothes. If they need food, we're going to get them food. You know, they need love, we're giving them the hug.
Having a good day? Yeah. Good.
School counselor Robin Corbin meets with kids 3 days a week. It's not enough. The school could use her full time. It's not in the budget. So Corbin last year began enlisting help, turning to employees of a local plastics company to become mentors for students who needed extra support. The kids see it as a weekly half hour of fun, but it's really much more.
What are you hoping to accomplish with this program?
Just someone else, you know, in their life that they can depend on. That was one of the main things that we asked of these mentors, is that they be reliable and dependable. If they say they're going to be here Tuesday at 11:30, please be here Tuesday at 11:30, and they've been fantastic with that. That's something that these children don't have and don't see, an adult that they can depend on.
And like many school districts nationwide, this one participates in a National Drug Prevention Education Week, holding an essay and poster contest.
Next, we'll have our essay award presentation.
And among the winners, Brianna Sotomayor, whose essay spoke volumes.
Do you mind reading us what you wrote?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to give you, this is your winning essay.
Okay. A better life. There once was this woman who was on drugs and I was her daughter. Now she's very sick.
Brianna goes on to talk about her ambitions, to be a gymnastics teacher, to have a husband and children, to stay away from drugs.
If I grew up to be like my biological mom, I would not get any of these things.
This is definitely heart-touching, and to see a girl, especially 10 years old, to really just be honest.
One more.
For Brianna and her sister Riley, there's a community helping them move beyond their past, from their new mom and dad to the educators who nurture them.
When I come back and talk to you when you're 20 years old or 30 years old, what's Brianna going to be like then?
Well, I'm going to be old.
You will be.
But hopefully I won't be in drugs, and I will be succeeding in my priorities and just succeeding in life.
That's a lesson these schools are trying to teach all their students. In Jackson County, West Virginia, I'm Lisa Stark of Education Week, reporting for the PBS NewsHour.